Anders' opening statement.
Disappointing performance coming off the win. Really thought we'd fight a little bit more and cause a little more discomfort on their side of the net, but our defense was atrocious tonight, unfortunately, and they played clean, and that combination led to them hitting 450, and we're going to lose that every single time if we're going to play defense like that. So frustrating defensive performance. Thought our offense got better as the match went on, but yeah, not going to win point scoring at 23% like we did.
Open it up for questions.
Coach, what was especially difficult about countering that front duo of Kubik and Williams for Tennessee?
Kubik's playing really well right now, and we saw that on video, and just hitting the ball super hard right now and is in a really good groove. So yeah, I think her just heat and confidence gave us a lot of issues, and yeah, we didn't do a great job of sealing her line, and she really abused us down the line. And then yeah, Williams, she's kind of plays for them sometimes, doesn't play for them sometimes. So we didn't prepare for her. We thought we'd see Chapman, their other oppo, who they play a little bit more often than Williams. And but yeah, Williams, she hits hard too, high and hard, and that scored a lot against us.
And then what are some of the challenges that come with trying to fill Cam Chaney's absence?
Tonight was more about defense. So I think, I think about what we could have done better tonight, and it's obviously blocking. I need to check the stats because we had us for more than 0 blocks like these do, but we had us for a few. But we just didn't block well enough to slow down their attackers, like you said. Obviously, Kubik and Williams going off like they did, but we didn't slow down anybody. And yeah, without having good blocking defense, it doesn't matter who's on the court. Like you're not gonna win at this level.
And what's one thing you guys were focusing on heading into your match against Alabama?
We got to find our confidence again. We looked really confident against Mizzou and came out with a lot of swagger in that match, which I love to see. And then it just kind of felt like it disappeared tonight. And we got to get back to the process of feeling good about ourselves as we take the court and feeling good about the volleyball we're playing. And to be frank, we didn't have a great week of practice, and something that the coaches kind of noticed, but we kind of kept to ourselves. And I hope that that just a challenge to have a better week of practice is probably the biggest thing, and just perform a little bit better in the practice gym so we do have that confidence when we take the floor on Friday.
Coach, what has been the hardest part about an inaugural season trying to build a program from the ground up here at Vanderbilt?
Oh, that's such a good question, and I'm sure I'm not going to answer it correctly in this moment right here. I'm not going to think volleyball specifically, but I guess one of the challenges I maybe just didn't foresee is that we have 11 athletes going through their very first collegiate volleyball season, and a lot of teams are young. But we have 2/3 of our team is really young, and 2/3 of our team, like I said, is doing this for the first time. And there's just a lot more learning than I probably, having been in it for quite a few years myself. Like I just forget about all the nuances of going through a season and the daily life of going through a season. And I think that's the part that we're learning, and that younger group is learning. And I think they're going to go into next season just a completely different mindset. But yeah, like obviously the on-court, I knew that was going to come where they'd have to learn that side of things, but it's almost like everything about going through a season that they just haven't done yet. And we have some upperclassmen, but until you go through it, it's just hard to understand what the grind of an SEC season is like.
Are you proud? Would you say you're proud with your team's progression from where they were at the start of the season to now in terms of maturity and dealing with in-game scenarios?
Of course, yes. Definitely way prouder of our team, than I was back then, and just our mentality. I thought, even now, I feel like we're doing it for the right reasons. We're playing hard for the right reasons, and we're playing hard for each other, and that's way more long-withstanding than trying to do it for the win in that match, or just trying to do it to beat a ranked team or whatever it is. And I feel like we found that drive and that desire to win, and in a good way that's sustainable. And yeah, like I said, they're growing up every day. So of course, some days are going to look worse than others, but the good days are really fun, and we do have a lot more good days than bad days than we did earlier in the season. So if you zoom out, of course, I'm really proud of them and their maturity and growth throughout this season.
Thanks, Coach. Best of luck.
Thank you so much.